Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Boruto anime episode review. This one's going to be for episode 9, which is called Proof of Oneself. And overall I think this was a pretty solid episode. Maybe didn't accomplish as much as maybe it could have if they kind of took it in a slightly different direction. But it was definitely fun. There were a lot of very interesting interactions in this one. Getting to see a lot more of course, some of our kind of Hyuga members here with Hanabi and Hiyashi. Seeing Hanabi kind of actually step up and kind of spar with Boruto instead, and that led to a really nice fight scene, especially when Boruto really kind of went for it. And I like that they made that a really notable moment of just him actually trying as hard as he can, going like full shadow clone, the real Boruto interacting with the other shadow clones, and that kind of actually pushing Hanabi to actually use the rotation technique, and in the end, not manifest the Byakugan or his eye power, but kind of show everyone that he is actually telling the truth. I like that was the kind of the takeaway from that because he fought hard enough, they all know the type of character that Boruto is. They know that he wouldn't try so hard if he was just lying to get attention. So I like that Naruto was aware of that, Hiyashi was aware of that, and Hanabi. Which obviously led to the really, really, probably the best scene of the episode with Hiyashi and Naruto talking about this and other stuff as well. They talk about Himawari and so on, but just the idea that Naruto was kind of happy to see Boruto try so hard, and that he's just glad that Boruto's not lying just to get his attention. That they both are aware that okay, something clearly happens. He has some new power, but we just don't know the way to manifest it. It's just, this episode was meant to confirm to everyone that it's not the Byakugan. Boruto does not have the Byakugan. What he has is something different. And if you're familiar with all the other stuff, it more than likely is the Tenseigan, given that Tonieri was in the last episode. But obviously none of those characters are making that connection just yet, because the Tenseigan had kind of specific activation requirements, and maybe they're not fully aware that Boruto has met those or not. But still, a nice one just to have it there, and kind of by the end, just seeing Naruto with his his father here, Hiyashi, kind of just talking about his own son, was just a really nice kind of scene to have. Naruto just talking about his own family, and just the idea of Hiyashi saying at the end of their talk that it's because he's your son that I kind of worry about him to a degree. That just, even though Naruto is the respected 7th Hokage at this point, it's still like he's gonna be like you to some degree, like when you were younger, and he's obviously aware of that. That's kind of more or less sort of what's happening right now with him. And there's just it was a nice scene to have, to just get across that Naruto, it's not that he just has no faith in Boruto or just doesn't trust him. It's just that he's so used to Boruto usually not trying, that he makes the point of in a way it's kind of a weakness that everything comes so easily to him. He doesn't feel the need to try, and he takes shortcuts when, because he's so skilled, if he tried as hard as possible, he could be absolutely amazing. And then they also set up that Himawari, the fact that she's already awakened her Byakugan, she just hasn't she hasn't used it since the initial event, which is obviously the day Naruto became Hokage thing, I think, where Himawari hits Naruto instead of Boruto, and kind of basically temporarily just messes up his whole chakra network with the Byakugan. So that's interesting that they kind of are setting Himawari up as sort of a prodigy in a way, just that she has awakened it so quickly, that she might be, when she's older, really, really amazing. Potentially, this generation's, I suppose, Neji, in terms of a Hyuga clan member who has a really good Byakugan. But there are other great scenes, just afterwards, at nighttime, Hanabi and Boruto talking again. This being the kind of the scene that kind of partners with the Naruto and Hiyashi scene of just Boruto thinking in a way like he didn't manifest it, so he doesn't know if everyone believes him or not. But kind of Hanabi just saying to him that, I know you were telling the truth and that you weren't lying, and that giving Boruto some confidence that like he's proven himself to a degree and that he's still set on trying to prove to everyone that he does have something here. That this failure here initially of like he doesn't have the Byakugan and hasn't been able to convince anyone, as actually just instead of usually what would happen if just he'd give up, he's actually even more set on actually continuing. So I think that was a big success, which led to the second half of the episode, which I don't think was as strong as the first, but I like that it allowed for like a Boruto and Sarada team up, which obviously Sarada hasn't been a focus in the series massively up to now. Only like 1 or 2 episodes maybe giving her any sort of attention. I like that they just had the two of them interact here, and they used the whole Kagemasa thing, and they set up this idea of like he's gained weight and so his show has been cancelled, and because of that the shadow possesses him and that causes all the problems, and once again Boruto gets to activate his eye powers again. Which leads, of course, to kind of Sarada being like, okay, I know you're not lying. By the end, that the fact that he is so set in stone and willing to put himself on the line to fight Kagemasa here, she knows that he's not lying either. So I kind of like that she makes the point of just like, I think you're an idiot, but I don't think you're a liar. And I think, setting up that, important character interaction that's going to be very important later on, because obviously they haven't formed the teams just yet, so Mitsuki, Sarada, and Boruto aren't properly a team yet. So that's why this interaction is actually quite interesting here, of like Sarada stepping in to save Boruto, and then the two of them working really, really well together, kind of very similar to Naruto Sasuke fighting Zabuza with the whole Demon Wind Shuriken, but it's actually a transformation, and then that getting the advantage on Kagemasa. And I like how they almost took it to the next level in that Boruto, like it's maybe he just did it really quickly, but it looked like he transformed like 2 of his clones into the Demon Wind Shuriken, or else the second the transformation was undone, he had immediately done shadow clones, because it was like the kind of and the next level of that attack. Whereas the Demon Wind Shuriken thing against Zabuza from the original series was like a really clever plan that worked to a degree. This one was actually a lot more kind of effective because Boruto got an attack in properly and kind of had an extra advantage because of the shadow clones, and then Sarada's skill as well was shown. So I like that, as they roughly show at the end that okay, Kagemasa is losing weight now, and the show has been sort of renewed, assuming he will get back to his normal kind of physique. But just ending with him going to Mitsuki and Shikadai and saying that I'm again just reaffirming that he's trying his best to show everyone this, that even though he couldn't show it now, he's going to do everything he can to make sure everyone's aware of kind of the power that he does have. So, it's one of those ones where, like, if they go on with this for a little bit too long, it's going to be frustrating just to see them kind of constantly, like, no one knows about this power, but we do, and just kind of tease it like this. It's going to be a bit frustrating, so I'm kind of hoping they don't spend too long on this kind of what power does Boruto have arc, and they kind of move it along a little bit more, and that I think a lot of people are now looking for when are they going to animate the Naruto Gaiden stuff with when Sarada unlocks her Sharingan and so on. When's that going to happen? But overall, solid episode. I don't think one of the best of the season, but certainly some of the best scenes we've had, I think. So I think, again, the show started off really, really well. It's very, very interesting, and next week looks like we're going to get some kind of potentially foundation stuff. Sai getting a chance to kind of shine in the next episode, and we'll see exactly where they go from here. There's talk of like ghosts and so on. So it looks like they're actually using this show to actually develop some of the other characters from Naruto who don't have as much focus. So like Shino has got most of his character development in Boruto. And then it looks like they're going to at least do something with Sai potentially next episode. See what position in the village he has and so on. But yeah, that has been the review. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts were on the episode. But that's been the video for today. Thanks for watching, and bye.